Hey, everybody. It's been so long since I've done a live. It's been quite a while since I've even done a video. But as if you watch some of my videos, you know I always say recording videos are not my favorite things to do. But nevertheless, this is where I am. So I have some news for you, some exciting news. If you are a subscriber to my channel and you've seen some of my videos, you know I've always been kind of dancing around trying to figure out exactly where I think at one time I called it my sweet spot, where my sweet spot was. Well, I finally found my sweet spot. Well, really, it was never lost. I just was looking in other people, looking at what other people were doing, and got lost in what I was supposed to be doing. And that's what happens sometimes. I'm constantly telling people as a mindset coach, stay in, hold your own role. That's something my daddy told me when I was growing up. I grew up in the country, and he used to always tell me, baby, hold your own role. But before I get any further, let me tell you exactly who I am and what I do and what I want to invite you to do. My name is Alice Walker Beecham. I'm a mindset coach. I'm a writer. I'm an artist. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I'm a Black woman. I'm a ex-wife. I'm a recovering uh what am I recovering from? I'm recovering from pain. I'm recovering from the thought of feeling unworthy. So that's some of the things I am, which will lead into what I want to discuss with you. Maybe a week or so ago, I did a little short video and I was talking about Black women marketing place. And I was trying to get that last little understanding of where I supposed to be in this cyber world, in this digital world. And where I supposed to be is where I originally started before the digital world. I'm a writer. I love stories. I love storytelling. And I believe that each one of us, each individual in the world, has a story that they can write if they discover it. They can develop it and write it where that they can share it with someone else. It doesn't matter what you do. Maybe you're a baker and you bake this certain cake that everyone always tell you how wonderful this cake is. But you say, oh, that's just something I do. Believe me, there are people out there that would love to be able to make a cake like you make a cake. Not just you learn how to make that cake somehow. The first day, your story could be teaching someone to make a cake, writing that story about the first time you made that cake, or maybe the first time you saw your mom or your grandmom make that cake. And as you start thinking about those things, you're going to learn lessons that you learn, believe it or not, from making a cake. And you can develop that into your story, your signature story. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you want to write a story. You want to leave something to just tell your daughter or your son how you grew up. Maybe you're a grandmother and you want to make sure that your life, your parents, the way you grew up is not lost in time. Maybe you want to write that story. Maybe you want to, some of the things that really I love to write about is my growing up. I grew up in the country and I didn't know it at the time, but society had labeled us as growing up in poverty. Maybe we didn't use the word poverty back then. People would just say, oh, well, you guys are poor. Well, I never saw it as poor because we always had fresh food from our garden. We always had clean clothes. We always had a roof over our head. We always had mama and daddy. We had, mama would bake us uh, oatmeal cookies and tea cakes, and she baked. And growing up in that environment helped me to learn so many life lessons. One of them being that you don't have, if society say you are poor, what is poor? And this is the beauty of writing and reframing words. What is poor? Is poor in what? The Bible say you can be poor in spirit, or you can be poor in finance. Maybe we were poor in finance, but we weren't poor in spirit. I learned storytelling from my daddy. I didn't know I was learning it, but he used to tell me stories about him growing up, about his life. And some of the most valuable or most important stories I learned was just from our conversation. As I said earlier, he used to always tell me, baby, hold your own rope. And some people might not understand what it meant, but he would tell me, he said, if you, when I would say, well, so and so did this, or so and so said that, he would say, baby, hold your own rope. And what that meant was, mind your own business. He said, because if you start holding someone else's rope, before you know it, you're all over the field and nothing get accomplished. So that's what I'm doing. I'm coming back to hold my own rope, which is writing. I've always known that was my passion. That's what I was put on this earth to do, to write, to share a message. And I don't know if you have looked uh, on my channel, but three of my books are on my channel, and you can check them out, and see. When I say I was put on this earth to write, I was, and not only write, but to encourage other people to write. So what I would like to tell you and introduce to you today is my community. I created a community. It's called Black Women Writing. Okay, somebody gonna say, why Black women writing? Everybody like to write. Everybody might like to write. Everybody might write. But I created a community for Black women writing because that's who I'm most connected to. All women have some things in common, but the writing that I hope to encourage the women in this community to do It's more than just writing or learn writing, it's soul writing. We use two terms in this community. One of them is Ubuntu. Ubuntu means you win when we win. When one of us win, we all win. That's what Ubuntu means. And the other one is Sankofa. And Sankofa means go back and get what you fetch, what you left behind. And that's what writing is. When I tell and write stories about my growing up, about my dad's life, about how my mom baked the cake, about how I used to watch her when she baked the cake, how I used to hear her hum, how I used to watch the women in my community, my mom and her aunties and her cousins, how they would get together and how they would quilt a quilt from scraps. When I go back and get that. So, what I really want to encourage Black women to start doing, especially in this time, because we're living in a different time now, but it also can be a very valuable and beautiful time. We need to go back and get our stories. We need to write our stories. We need to write them to heal our spirit, to heal our soul. And most of all, we need to write them so that our children, the ones that come behind us, we have left footsteps for them to walk in. Just imagine there are so many, if you're a single mom, the lessons that you have, the things that if you have learned, if you have raised children as a single mom, think of the story that you can share with so many other single moms. Maybe you're a woman that lost her husband, or lost her mother, or lost her father. You can share that story. You just need to learn how to find this story within you. I call it your signature story. And not only can you share that story, if, and I don't know if this is something that would interest you, but if you are, say you're in ministry, or say you want to write a book, you can turn your signature story into profit. You can turn it into profit so that you can learn how to make income. And like I say, we're living in a different time now. And living in this time, we all need to have something that no one can take from us. And that's what your story is. So I invite you to click the link in this video and go and visit Black Women Writing Community. Maybe it's not a fit for you. If it's a fit for you, I would love to get to know you better and to for us to build and to help you develop and find your signature story so that you can write it. One thing about writing your story, no one can erase it. You know, once you put it out and you, long as it's in you and you don't share it, you can take it to the grave. But once you release your story, no one can take it back. No one that hear it can unhear. You know, we hear lots of time that our history as Black people is trying to be erased. It's impossible to erase history. Once it has happened, it can't be erased. It can be forgotten, but it can't be erased. So that's what I want to encourage you to do. Go to my community called Black Women Writing. Look around, see what's going on. The link is in this video and see if it's a good fit for you. If not, that's okay too, because maybe it's just not the time. But check out the community. I would love to get to know you better. I would love for you mostly to write your story, to create a blog, create a, I think it's called a vlog, whatever it's called, to write a book of poetry, to write that story, to keep your mom alive, to keep your dad alive, to write that story so you will stay alive. Remember, our history and the things we've done cannot be erased, but they can be forgotten. But when we write them and we release them to the world, they will never, never disappear. So this is Alice Walker Beecham, and oh, I always forget to do this. Please, if you find this video helpful, if you know someone, another Black woman that would like to write, have always talked about writing, share this video with her and subscribe. Um, Visit my website at awbeecham.com, and I hope to see you in the community. Please leave a comment, share, all those things that I'm supposed to say and ask you to do that I always forget to do. So I will talk to you soon. It won't be as long from now on. I'm going to stay in touch, and I hope you stay in touch with me. Have a great Monday, a great day wherever you are. I wish you well. I wish you blessing, and I hope and wish you great writing. Bye.